It's Souptember day 7, and I have another easy crock pot recipe for you. I'm going to show you how to make the best crock pot baked potato soup. Hi friends, my name's Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my kitchen. My sister Carrie and I run this channel, and we're on a mission to teach real families how to make real food at home on a budget. And to kick off fall in September, we are doing a fun Souptember series where we show you 10 easy recipes in the first 10 days of September, and today is day 7. So if you missed all the other days, make sure you go back and check them out. There's some great soups I do not want you to miss out on. And if you love soups as much as we do, we've created a soup recipe for every single day of September that you can get directly into your email in your inbox. And we have the sign up link in the description below, as well as the link to today's recipe, crockpot baked potato soup. Now, I love a baked potato soup. It's so good, so delicious. It's perfect for fall. And I love it when it's made in the crock pot because it gets even easier. So for today's recipe, I am using the beautiful multi-cooker. That's the brand. It is a crock pot / multi-cooker from Walmart. It's the Drew Barrymore line. It's called Beautiful. It's awesome. It's great. I've linked it below. Carrie and I are loving this multi-cooker, and it's a really good price point. So if you're in the market for a new one, make sure you check that out below. Also, we've done a post with all of our favorite crock pots, so check that out if you're in the market for a new one. But if you already have one and you don't need a new one, this recipe will work in any crock pot. That's what's so great about crock pot cooking, is that it's super easy and super flexible. All right, let's get started. First thing you need for a baked potato soup, of course, is potatoes. So I like using russet potato. I did a video where I said it wrong, and now I'm always overthinking myself, but russet potato, the classic baked potato, works great for this recipe, and it's generally the cheapest. I do like it peeled because I want this to be a nice cream-based soup. Start with about 6 or 7. One of mine is kind of smaller, so I did 2 of the smaller ones. So I will be doing 5 regular size one and then 2 smaller ones today. So I'm doing 7. You want to peel all the skin off of these as much as possible. Get your kids involved with this step, right? They can be the potato pillars in the family. All the potatoes are peeled. Now we're going to dice them up before adding them to the crock pot. I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do this. First is going to be using our handy dandy chopper. You want it, if you have this chopper, you want to fit it with the chopping blade that chops into the bigger pieces, so it's not like finely diced potatoes. And what you can do is slice the potatoes. You want to slice them and then add them to your chopper. One piece, and that way it chops them into small pieces just like this. I think it's cutting off for you guys a little bit. So you don't want to put the whole potato in your chopper whole like this, because then you're going to get French fries, because it's just blades and it pushes it down and it'll put it technically French fry size. So I always cut it into rings or circles and then throw it in the chopper from there. Now, if you do not have a chopper, that's okay. You can just dice the potatoes regularly, and I'll show you how I do that as well. But of course, this chopper is linked below. I love it. It works great, especially when we're doing a lot of these potatoes like we are today. If you do not, action. If you do not have a chopper, I'm going to show you how to dice them up traditionally with just a knife and a cutting board. So you have your peeled potato. What I like to do is cut it in half lengthwise and then lay those flat on your cutting boards. Then based on the size of them, you can either cut them in half. Based on that size, I'm going to cut that one in half, and this one's a little bit thicker. I'm going to do it in thirds. And then hold them together so you can cut them all at once. Make sure you're using the bigger part of your knife, and then just dice the potatoes from there, and you can quickly dice the potatoes. And then add it straight to your crock pot. So either way works, with a knife and a cutting board, the old traditional way, or you can use the handy dandy chopper and add all those potatoes straight to your crock pot. I am choosing to finish up the rest of my potatoes in my chopper, and they are all done, and adding it right to the crock pot. Now, on the crock pot size, make sure it's about a 6 to 8 quart so that it holds all the ingredients in there, and it should work great. When cooking in a crock pot, you don't want it to ever be more than 3/4 of the way full. It will start to affect the cooking time once you get too full. And now it's time to add some onion. You want a whole diced onion for today's recipe. I am using a yellow onion, and I'm going to use my chopper as well, but I want to switch out the blades because right now I have it in the blades that have the bigger pieces. So just be real careful, because I have cut myself on this before because they're sharp blades. This is the smaller one because I want my onion to be nice and small, and it just locks right in. It tells you what side to put up. And the best thing about the chopper is that everything is dishwasher safe. So at the end, I just throw it all in the dishwasher and clean up as a breeze. So when I'm doing an onion in the chopper, I like to cut off the ends and peel the onion. Here, we'll cut it in half. And then peel that outside layer of the onion off. Just put these over here out of the way so you guys can see what's going on. And then when you can chop it traditionally from here, or when using the chopper, go ahead and quarter the onions. So I'm going to cut both of those halves in half again. And then in the chopper, you want to take one of the quarters and put it point side down into your chopper and chop. And then you get beautifully diced onions every single time. If you have trouble with the lid coming off, you can hold it down. I always forget to do that part. There you go. Diced onions. Perfect. All right. Then just add those right to the crock pot with your beautiful potatoes. So we got potatoes and onions. It's already on its way to be a beautiful soup. Now it's time to add the seasoning. My favorite thing about a nice baked potato soup is the seasoning is simple. We're going to start out with a tablespoon of pre-minced garlic. You can use fresh garlic. I'm going to do heaping because I love garlic in my potato soup. If you use fresh minced garlic, do about 4 cloves minced, and that would be great. Either one works. Sometimes I'm just lazy and I like to use the pre-minced kind. Now, with any classic baked potato, you need a little salt and pepper, a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Then add in 4 cups chicken broth or 1 carton. This is a 32-ounce carton, which is 4 cups. You can use chicken broth or vegetable broth. We're going to dump the whole thing in. Now, when making soups, we do recommend broth because it adds a ton of flavor. You can do half water and half broth, or you can stir in the bouillon cubes if you want to save some money. That works great and tastes delicious as well. And that's it. That's all you got to add to the crock pot. Now cover it, and you can cook this on low for about 6 to 8 hours or on high for 3 to 4 until the potatoes are nice and tender. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to cook it on high today because I want to show you guys at the end. Make sure you stick to the end of the video because I'm going to show you how to thicken this soup, make it taste great, and really bring the wow factor without much time at all. Okay, that is on. All right, I did it on high. I'm going to check it at 3 hours because this crock pot runs a little bit hot. So I'll see you in a few hours. About 30 minutes before serving, we're going to make a roux to thicken our soup. So heat a medium saucepan over high heat. Add in 1/4 cup of butter and let it melt. Once the butter is melted, reduce the heat down to medium and whisk in 1/4 cup flour. Whisk this constantly for 1 to 2 minutes. You're just going to cook that flour to kind of get that raw flour taste out of the mixture, because this is going to make a roux that we're going to add to our soup, and we just don't want it to taste like flour. Then slowly add in 2 cups whole milk. We're going to add in a little bit at a time and whisk it in to prevent any lumps and to make sure that the flour is getting fully incorporated. I like to use whole milk in this recipe because it adds the best flavor to the soup, but you can use whatever you have, like 2% skim, whatever you have on hand. But if you're gonna go out to the store and get some, get that whole milk. It's really gonna add a lot to the flavor of this soup. Continue slowly adding in the milk until all 2 cups are added in. I'm going to do this in about 3 sections today. You just want to make sure that each time you add it, that you completely whisk it in so that there's not any lumps in your flour mixture. Once the milk is added, add in 1 cup heavy cream to this mixture as well. We are going to whisk that in. Heat this on medium-high heat, and we want to bring it to a low simmer and let this mixture cook for about 3 to 5 minutes until it thickens. You want to watch it quickly so that this mixture doesn't overboil. So it's been cooking for a little bit. You can see that it's thickened. It's like a thin gravy texture. Then you want to go ahead and pull it off the stovetop, and we're going to add it into that crock pot. Here's my crock pot ingredients. This crock pot runs high. That's why it's like boiling when it's on hot. You're gonna dump that roux right into your crock pot and then stir it in. And it's gonna thicken this whole entire soup and make it nice and creamy. Now, when you stir, don't be worried about breaking up the potatoes, especially if you like more of a smoother texture. With your baked potato soup, you can just go ahead and whisk them real good and it'll break them up. They should be nice and soft at this point and should really break down into the sauce. If you like your soup a bit creamier, now is the time when you can blend some of this soup with an immersion blender. Now, if you're not familiar, an immersion blender is a blender that you like put directly into a pot and it blends together. If you do not have one of those, you could take some of this mixture, carefully put it in a blender and pour it back into your crock pot, or even mash some of those potatoes with like a potato masher. That will work great as well. Now, I'm gonna leave mine as is because I like mine just kind of a thicker with chunks of potatoes in it. That's just the way I like my soup. My potato soup, I don't like quite a full cream-based potato soup. So I'm gonna leave mine as is. But now it's time for the best part, the cheese. You can't have potato soup without cheese. We are going to mix in 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I do recommend that you grate your own, friends. The reason we're gonna grate our own cheese is because it melts more evenly. Pre-shredded cheese, they coat it with a starch to keep it from melting. And so it really affects the flavor and the ability to melt. So I am grating up 8 ounces, which is gonna be heaping 2 cups, sorry. It'll be heaping 2 cups of cheese, but I'm gonna grate it all up and just stir in 2 cups so that we will have a little bit extra for topping when it's ready to serve. Cheese is shredded. We're going to mix in 2 cups into the crock pot. Now, I like to do cheddar because this is the classic baked potato soup flavor. But if there's another type of cheese you'd rather have, I think pepper jack would be really good in here. A lighter mozzarella or Monterey Jack would give it a different flavor, but cheddar is gonna be the best. So that's 2 cups, and I got a little bit extra for topping. So I'm gonna set that aside. You just want to stir this in. Now, most of the time, the heat from your soup will go ahead and melt it. So if you're at a keep warm setting, that should work great in your crock pot. If not, and it's not running super hot, you may want to kick it on over to low just to make sure that cheese gets nice and melted. And then add in a 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now, this is also going to give it that baked potato flavor that we're going for here. We're just gonna stir that in. And again, the heat from the soup, let me get all of that out. Hold on, I got a spoon right here, guys, that I use to scoop it up. Get it all in here. The heat from the meal should melt it and incorporate it into the soup. But if your crock pot's not running as hot, kick it on over to low and that will speed it up for us. So, okay, all stirred in. I'm gonna let this set for just a few minutes. While it's setting and incorporating all these flavors and melting that cheese, I'm gonna get all of our toppings ready and then dinner is done. Somebody's been waiting right here patiently asking if he can try this soup, but I don't think that's the best idea. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like your baked potato soup creamier or chunkier? I don't really like using that word chunky because it sounds kind of gross, but that's what it is. It's like chunks of potatoes in it, and that's the way I like mine. I don't like mine super creamy and smooth. So It's completely up to you, but okay, it's ready, guys. I got my toppings ready. Look at it. It smells amazing. I did some bacon, some green onions, and then that leftover shredded cheese that I told you guys about. You got to have your toppings, but look how nice and thick and beautiful this soup is. And my favorite thing about making a soup in the crock pot is that if you're a family on the go, you can keep it on the warm setting and everyone can just eat when they're home. So some people have soccer or activities or dance, and other people have work. They can just come, go, and it can sit on warm, and it'll be ready when they get there. Okay, my soup is ready, but I gotta get her loaded up with the toppings. Let's do a little extra cheese. I like to put my toppings on just like I would like on my baked potato. It's already got sour cream in there. Put a little bacon, of course. And you can always do your toppings separately. So if you have picky kids or partners or whatever, they can make it just the way they want. I'm so excited. It looks amazing. Now it's time for my favorite part of every video, taste testing. I'm so hungry. It's dinner time here. I'm making this for dinner tonight and I'm so excited. You guys, whew, it tastes like a baked potato in a soup. Exactly. It's so good, comforting, and delicious. Thank you guys so much for joining me today in my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed day 7 of Soup-tember. And if you love soups as much as we do, make sure you sign up for our email series where you'll get a new soup recipe in your inbox every single day for 30 days for the month of September. It's really fun. I've linked that in the description below, as well as today's recipe, so you guys can make it at home. I know you are gonna love it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, because we have 3 more days of this fun Soup-tember series, and I don't want you to miss out, and I want you to get notified every time we have a new video go live. All right, friends, I am out of here. It is dinner time. Thank you guys so much for joining me today in my kitchen this time. I will see you next time, and until then, remember, eat at home by eating on a dime. Bye, friends.